What's going on, guys? If you've seen part 12, you may remember this happening. It's a snugness that's...
That was the bolt.
You think so? I don't think I have any threads in there.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I don't get it. How does that happen?
In that episode, I said we were going to pick up right where we left off, and that's where we're going to start part 13 right now. But at the very least, what I can do is prevent oil from continually dripping out of this motor by putting the cover on it. And that whole thing can come off as an assembly later. So I'm going to put the pins, here's some dowel pins that go in here like this. I'm just going to drop those in. They are the alignment pins. The gasket hooks onto the dowel pins. This bolt here is a through bolt, so it goes clean through the cover and into the engine case behind it. Not the housing, but the engine case. Same with this bolt here. So when we remove all the rest of these to pull everything off, we have to remove these two as well. So we have a choice here. Actually, we kind of don't have a choice. This bolt that we thought broke off, by the way, this is another day. We're filming a couple of days later here. The bolt that we, let me fix this camera. The bolt that we thought we broke off didn't actually break off. The engine casing only had like 4 threads left in it, and when I went to go tighten it to torque spec, it let go of the threads. I have the threads here in my hand. They were still on the bolt, and I just took them off. There's no way you're gonna be able to see this, but so those are the threads that broke out of the engine case. And so what I decided to do was actually, there's a couple of options for rethreading. I don't have a lot of material. The engine case isn't real thick. The walls on this aren't real thick. And every option out there involves drilling out the hole to a larger diameter and then inserting some type of either steel sleeve or something like that. The one that requires the least amount of drilling of material is the Helicoil option. So I bought a Helicoil kit, and I'm practiced on this piece of metal here, you can see. So I got a Helicoil on there. And now we're gonna actually take off the engine case side here, the clutch housing and the clutch cover, and we're gonna walk through the Helicoil process on this motor. The only other option would be to put this whole thing inside the back of the vehicle, the back of the truck, and take it to a shop for them to do it. So I'm gonna gamble a little bit here, and I'm gonna try to do it myself.
actually tap that hole with a tap. The Helicoil kit comes with a tap, so you just use the tap from the kit and you're gonna thread the hole with the tap. And the thing with taps is you get to a sticky spot about once every turn, back up a quarter turn, and then go back at it. And then back up a quarter turn. And all that's doing is it's dropping any kind of burrs that it's currently kicking up back into the channel or grooves of the tap. At this point I think I'm close to where I need to be for the not look straight at all. Golly, that does not look straight. Oh, if I fuck this up, I'm in big trouble. I'm not gonna know until way later. So now it's a threaded hole with a larger diameter. I'm just going to flush out this hole with some cleaner and then some air after that. That's why, because look at all that aluminum that came out. Now we're ready for the Helicoil. Boy, I hope that's straight. So the way this works is it comes with an applicator tool. Here, let's zoom you out. This comes with an applicator tool that looks like this, and I've got just a tap driver on the end of it. It actually slips out of the plastic casing. This is a threaded plastic casing, just as a guide. And then there's the coil, or the threads themselves. Now the threads have a little tang right in the middle. You're probably not going to be able to see that. See that tang on the middle? The idea is that this threads onto this rod. This rod is the same diameter as the bolt that I'm going to be inserting in there. So the threads come onto this rod, and then the rod is designed to catch that tang. Again, right there, just like that. Let's see if we can actually zoom it in a little better here. There we go, that's about right. So they catch the threads catch, or the rod has a little cleft tip, and it catches the tang, and that's what allows you to turn the threads into the hole. Once you have the threads in the hole, you actually just drive a punch in and you break off the tang. So this goes onto the threads like that, and then this goes through here until you get to the threaded portion of the tool, and then you turn and you thread this into the end of the tool. Again, difficult to see, difficult to focus here. There we go. So then you just thread this until you're almost flush. And the way this is going to work for us is that we're going to put this up against the hole, and we're going to turn this, and it's going to feed from being inside of the tool to inside of the hole we just drilled. You don't want to go too deep with that, so you have to kind of keep an eye on where you're at with the tool, and once it's lets go, once this is no longer being held in by the threads of the helicoil, you pull it back and you watch, because you're looking to see how far down, and you want to just sink that just level or half a thread deeper. Something like that is what we're after. Now, the tang only works going forward, not backwards. So when I start unscrewing this, it's no longer engaged in that, pushing that tang. We just back it out. And there we go. We have a helicoil inside of it. Probably saying, dude, there's a tang that's going to stop your bolt from going all the way through and engaging with the back of those threads. And you'd be right if you said that. You may also notice that I sunk this helicoil a little bit deeper because this hole was kind of had a tapered or beveled opening, so I wanted to put those threads deep enough to where they had purchase on some of the threads that I had created with the tab. So I sunk it a little deeper than flush because I wanted to actually get those last few threads, or rather the first few facing out here, engaged with some of the threads from the tab. So now that it's into a level that I'm comfortable with, what we're going to do is we're actually going to break off that tang. And the way we break off the tang is it's actually perforated, I guess you'd say. It has a little notch cut in it to allow it to it's an easy breakaway setup. So you get a punch of the correct diameter for the hole, and you push it all the way into the back. And all you have to do, you can either apply hand pressure to it, or you can just give it a little tap with a hammer. And when you tap it with a hammer, you break that tang off. There it went. Oh, that tang is actually sitting inside of there, so we have to flush it out too. But mine's not coming out. Let me try some air. I'm gonna have to get a pick involved and try to fish it out. Okay, so the story is, it was almost broken off, but it had been laid over. It was just laid over in there, so all I did with the pick was I found it and pushed on it and it broke it off. So, in theory, we should be able to flush it out now. Oh, it's stubborn. Oh, there it is right there. Can you see it? Oh, there it went. So there's the tang on the end of that. And really quickly, I'm going to run a test bolt into there. This doesn't take time to dry or anything like that. And you saw I didn't use any thread lock. I heard somewhere that some people had used thread lock on this application, but I didn't do that. Which at this point we're borderline needing to put a new gasket on here because this one's been put on and taken off and it's gotten oil on it once or twice. Because none of the gears were turned. So I'm hoping I get lucky and everything just slips into place. Oh, there. I did get lucky. Now let's see exactly how lucky I am. Did I do that straight enough to get this to thread? Fucking eureka. It went in. Alright. Each bolt now. I don't know if I've ever held my breath so much on a motorcycle project.
That's it right there. They're all tight. Holy shit, this.
Yeah, they're supposed to be different. We'll come back to torquing that later. Now we have to hook up this whole exhaust valve, push rod, and lever situation. There's a fair amount going on here. This thing, yeah, actually has to be taken apart and then put through here, and then installed, and then the spring needs to make its way around. The spring has to go around this. Oop, there, we just lost it all. So that's what we want right there. And then it goes up and into here. There's a lock washer and a flat washer on there. And I need to find a set pin to put through this hole. And then into the hole in the engine case like that. Can't see, but there's a hole in the engine case on this side, and that allows me to tighten this whole assembly up. I just need to find the torque spec for that. 4 Newton meters. That's it right there. So now that assembly is all put together. So this gasket goes, I believe, like this. Okay, we've got the 4 bolts in the cover and the gasket here, and drop the gasket over the top of this, lining up the bolt holes for all 3 that are remaining. And now I just need to seat this and get the bolts started.
Really quickly before I forget here. There we go. That's gonna be it for this episode, guys. Thanks for following along as I overcame a pretty big obstacle for me. I'm not accustomed to helicoiling bolt holes, let alone holes that are inside of a brand new engine casing. The stakes are high there. So again, thanks for following along. If you've made it to this point in the video, I'm assuming you've probably seen some of the other videos or episodes. If you haven't seen the other videos, the playlist link is in the description. I recommend you follow along and learn with me here. That's the whole point of this project. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.